You know what's good about the current US men's national team generation? They're not very old. Like, besides Tim Ream, there's no player that'll get aged out of the 2030 World Cup roster. I mean, some of the players that were in the 2026 roster won't be there because they're not good enough, but they're not really going to be aged out. Now, unlike the 2014-2018 cycle where we had a bunch of old players and not many young prospects coming up, which ultimately is one of the main reasons why we missed out in the 2018 World Cup, right now, it's not the case. We do have young prospects coming up that will very likely be in the 2030 roster. That'll push out some of the players that were in the 2026 World Cup. And my question to you is this. Who are these prospects? Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And today, I want to go through 8 US men's national team prospects that you should watch out for this cycle. Now listen, there are more than 8, and at the very end of this video, I'll give a few shout outs. And you may be wondering, why did you pick only 8? I don't know. I just chose that number, okay? That's what I want to go with, and that's what we're going to go with. You can let me know in the comment section down below, 10, 20, 50 prospects if you want to. But for the sake of this video, I'm going with 8. And I will also be rating each prospect based on their potential, not their current ability, their potential, which again, it's subjective. 5 stars will be world-class potential, which we don't really have any world-class players for the US right now at the moment, in my opinion. 4 stars would be a player that's elite, like a Fullerton Balogun, for example. 3 stars would be a player that's a very good top 5 league player, like Tyler Adams. That would be another good example right there. 2 and 1 stars I won't be using because I'm only listing players that I believe have high potential. So basically, it'll be between 1 to 5 stars. And again, I'm not going to use 1 star or 2 stars. Why would I put a prospect in this video that I don't think has a high ceiling? All right, with that said, don't forget to drop a like in this video. Do it right now. I know it's annoying. I know there's like this imbecile right here that keeps asking you to hit the like button, but it helps the channel a lot. All right, it's a great way to support the channel. Also, any comments in the comment section down below also helps us get a push in the YouTube algorithm. All right, so let's roll the intro and go to prospect number 1. But wait. Just one thing. This is not a ranking, okay? The order of the players don't really matter. Okay, let's start the episode. Prospect number 1 is the 20-year-old goalkeeper Diego Kochen. Okay, so let's talk about Kochen here for a second. He's a goalkeeper that is very good and very comfortable playing with his feet. Like, he's very good playing out of the back. He knows how to pass the ball, short, long, first touch is fine. He's great with his feet. Now, in terms of shot stopping, we've yet to see him at a senior level, right, against grown men. So that one remains questionable. So he came out of the Barcelona Academy. That's probably why he's so good with his feet. And he's now loaned out to a Danish club. He's going to play in the Danish league in Denmark, all right? And that club has an option to buy, which leads me to believe that Barcelona does not believe in his potential, which is fine, because Barcelona looks for world-class goalkeepers, and I don't think Diego Kochen is a potential world-class goalkeeper. With that said, the US men's national team does not have a good goalkeeper. In his prime, prospect, nothing. I guess Chris Brady is a prospect. He's a bit older than Diego Kochen, but he's a prospect. Matt Freese, Matt Turner, they're not good, okay? So we need Kochen to develop, and he's going to be 24 in the next World Cup, which is old enough to start if he develops, if he becomes a good goalkeeper. In terms of his potential, okay, I think he's 3 out of 5 stars. So he has the potential to become a very good top 5 league starting goalkeeper. As I said, 3 stars is about like a Tyler Adams level player, which is very good. And for the United States, considering our current goalkeeper situation, right, that would be incredible. We kind of need it. So Diego Kochen is his name. He's going to be playing in Denmark. It's going to be tough to watch him there. We're going to have to try to look up stats, find highlights. Regardless, it's his first professional season. Keep an eye out for Diego Kochen, because in 2030, he might be our starting goalkeeper or at least make the roster. Hopefully by then, he hits his potential, the one that I just told you, like 3 out of 5 stars, which means he'll be starting for a top 5 league club. Prospect number 2 is Pedro Guimaraes, the 18-year-old left back that is right now playing for Eintracht Frankfurt, or Eintracht Frankfurt's second team. So let's talk about Pedro here for a second. He played in USL Championship for Orange County, and he did quite well as a teenager, right? And I know USL is not an extremely high level, but this is a teenager playing against grown men, and it didn't look like it was a teenager playing against grown men. Ultimately, he got this move to the Bundesliga. Will he play for them this season? Probably not. He's probably going to be mostly with the second team, but I think this will help his development quite a bit, and we'll see what happens. He's a very technical left back, defends well, from my understanding, from what I saw from him with the youth teams with Orange County. He can provide a lot going forward. That's a big thing as well. And the reason I'm mentioning him is the U.S. men's national team lacks depth on the left back position. So any left back that actually develops in the next 4 years and becomes a top 5 league player has the potential to make the roster. Now, I was torn because I don't want to put two players from the same position in this video. I will have a few, but I didn't want to put many. And I was torn between Pedro Guimaraes and Peyton Miller. All right, Peyton Miller is actually an incredible left back as well. Both of them have a high ceiling. I think there's just something else there with Pedro Guimaraes. I don't know. Development ain't linear, so people are going to say that right now Peyton Miller is better, which is true. It is true. Peyton Miller from the New England Revolution. But I think that Pedro Guimaraes has a higher ceiling. And I'm going to say that Pedro has a 3 out of 5 star potential. The same I gave to Diego Kochen. I think over the long run, maybe in the next 3 to 4 years, he has the potential to be a starter in a top 5 league. I wouldn't say like Tyler Adams-like level, but I'd say he could become like a Joe Scally, right? I think that level, maybe a little bit better. He seems to offer much more going forward than Joe Scally, but I'm going to give Pedro Guimaraes 3 out of 5 stars. I'll be rooting for him. I'll be keeping track of him, see if he gets any minutes this season for Eintracht Frankfurt. But over the long run, the next 3 to 4 years, I think he can be like a Joe Scally level-like player, offering more going forward. Okay, prospect number 3. And this one, to me, is the highest ceiling prospect that we have right now. Okay, and I've watched him play quite a bit. His name is Mathis Albert, the 17-year-old winger from Borussia Dortmund. Now, listen, to me, he is easily the highest ceiling prospect that we have right now. Now, will he live up to his potential? We'll see. And this guy has already made his Bundesliga debut. He broke the record for youngest American to debut in the Bundesliga. Okay, he broke that record that was held by Pulisic. Then Gio Reyna broke the record, and now Mathis Albert is the record holder. He killed it at Borussia Dortmund's youth ranks, right? Then he went to Borussia Dortmund's B team, right, their second team, and he was, I believe, the youngest player in that team, and he was also incredible. Then last season, towards the end, he made the bench a few times for Dortmund, made his debut, didn't really get significant minutes, and then this year, Adeyemi has left. Obviously, Mathis Albert is now older. He's 17, not 16 anymore. I'm expecting him to be consistently on Borussia Dortmund's bench. Now, will he consistently play? Time will tell. But I think at age 17, you're going to see him on the bench for Dortmund quite a bit this season. And hopefully, he ends the season with maybe 300 to 500 minutes. Listen, I could be wrong, but I think this guy's the real deal. Okay, so in terms of rating his potential, I give him a 4 out of 5 star potential, which is essentially I'm betting that he's going to be at the same level eventually as a Pulisic, a Balogun, a Malik Tillman. That's what I'm expecting from Mathis Albert over the long run. And considering the fact that the 2030 World Cup is in 4 years, so this guy will be 21 years old, I think he's going to make the roster. Will he be starting for the US by then? I don't know, but he'll very likely be making the roster. Prospect number 4 is the 18-year-old center forward from the New York Red Bulls, Julian Hall. Now listen, last year when he played the U17 World Cup, I didn't like his performances. I thought he was quite bad. But this season in MLS, he's having a breakout season for the New York Red Bulls. He's been very good for them. At the time of this recording, he already has 9 goals, so he very likely will get double-digit goals in MLS this season. And you're going to be saying, but MLS is crap. Guys, MLS, one, it's not crap, right? It's not crap. It's not La Liga. It's not the Premier League. It's not any top 5 league. But to perform well in MLS as an 18-year-old, it's very tough, okay? And he's scoring goals at a higher rate than Ricardo Pepi at his age. Okay, when Pepe was in MLS playing for Dallas at the same age as Julian Hall, he wasn't scoring at the same rate as Julian Hall. Julian Hall works very well as a poacher, in my opinion. Okay, that's how he's been performing well in MLS at the moment. And I think there's something there, right? I still think for 2030, the top 2 center forwards that we have will be Balogun and Pepe, Balogun being the clear front runner. But I wouldn't be surprised if Julian Hall catches up to Pepe, or Julian Hall becomes center forward number 3 ahead of Haji Wright, okay? And for that reason, I rate Julian Hall as a 3 out of 5 star potential prospect, okay? That means I believe that he has the potential to be a good starting center forward in a top 5 league. Prospect number 5 is actually another player from the New York Red Bulls, and he's a midfielder, and thankfully he's being coached by no one less than Michael Bradley. His name is Adrii Mehimedi from the New York Red Bulls, right? The 18-year-old midfielder that is starting for them this season in MLS. Now, let me tell you, he's a very different player profile from the standard American midfielder. He's clean on the ball. He's technical. He's also not really, he's very athletic, but he's not an athletic freak. He's just so smart, high soccer IQ, technical, clean, smooth. He's a very good midfielder. Now, I do have some question marks about his defending as a central defensive midfielder or a central midfielder, depending on the opposition that he faces, right? When he faces a higher level, how will he behave? How will he react? But in terms of like the talent on the ball, it's quite remarkable. And recently I saw an interview from Adrii Mehimedi, and he says that his inspiration, or the player that he looks after, is Sergio Busquets. And honestly, there are similarities in terms of his playing style, right? Is he going to reach a Sergio Busquets level? I doubt it, okay? Very, 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 very unlikely. But in terms of style of play, that's the best way to describe him. Now, as long as he can make up for maybe the lack of athleticism, even though I wouldn't call it lack of athleticism, it's more of like a mobility issue. If he can make up for it with his positioning, his soccer IQ, that both of those are very high, it'll be fine. I think this guy is actually another one of those that he's the real deal. Long term, this is a legit player, a legit prospect. And I don't know if people are going to agree with me here. Maybe New York Red Bull fans will. I'm going to give Adrii Mehimedi a 4 out of 5 star potential. I think he has the potential to be an elite central midfielder, central defensive midfielder, as long as he develops well, okay? The talent is there. That's what I'll say. Seriously, go watch him for the New York Red Bulls and tell me what you think. Prospect number 6 is Cavan Sullivan from the Philadelphia Union that already has a contract locked in with Man City. Now, listen, Cavan to me is a very talented and a very good player, very dynamic player, and we're still trying to figure out what's his actual position long term. Is he going to be a winger? Is he going to be a central midfielder, an attacking midfielder? We'll find out later on, right? He's only 16. In terms of his potential, I see him more as a potential Weston McKennie-like player. A very dynamic, versatile box-to-box midfielder that can play wide, can play as a fullback, can play as a central midfielder, attacking midfielder, winger. That's how I see Cavan. Now, I think his ceiling is Weston McKennie's level. I know some people put him as a potential Lamine Yamal, which to me is insane. I don't think that's his level, okay? I don't think he's a generational talent. I think he's a superb talent, a big-time talent, and might even be in the 2030 World Cup roster or 2034, because he'll be 20 in the 2030 World Cup. I just don't see the technical ability of a generational talent. And you're going to say, I've seen him pull some incredible tricks. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work at a higher level. Now, can he play at a higher level? I think he will be able to, right? I don't think, like some people, I see the extremes when it comes to Cavan Sullivan, right? I see people saying that he's as bad as like Freddie Adu. He's going to flop like Adu. And I see people saying that he is like Lamine Yamal potential, whatever. I don't think it's either. I think he'll be fine. I think he should be able to play in the top 5 league and should be able to do very well. I think his ceiling is something like playing for a good top 5 league team. I'm sorry. Playing for a good top 5 league club. What do I mean by that? That a team that'll be in the Europa League, in the Champions League. Maybe not a contender, but a team that'll be there, right? Like a Juventus, like Weston McKennie right now. And for that reason, I rate Cavan Sullivan 3.5 stars out of 5. Okay, once again, 3.5 stars out of 5. I know some people are going to get angry at me. They're going to say he's a 5-star prospect. He's a 4.5 star prospect. I don't agree with you. Okay, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's a 5-star prospect. We kind of need that. But I have to be realistic here. I have to call a spade a spade. And based on what I've seen so far, to me, it's a 3.5 out of 5, which is still very freaking good. Prospect number 7 is the 19-year-old winger, Xavier Gozo from RSL. Now, he can play as a winger, he can play as a wide midfielder, he can play as a wingback, okay? Honestly, you could even play him as a second striker. But let's talk about Xavier Gozo here. To me, this is a very high ceiling prospect. I'm giving him a 3.5 out of 5 star potential, the same as Cavan Sullivan. I don't think Xavier Gozo is going to be in MLS for much longer because he has the finishing ability. He has the athletic ability. He can track back and defend. He provides a lot going forward. I think this guy has the potential to do very well in a top 5 league. I don't want him to go straight to a top 5 league. I would rather Xavier Gozo go to like the Eredivisie and kill it there for PSV, Feyenoord, Ajax, whatever, and then move to a top 5 league. But this guy has huge potential. He can beat his man on 1v1s. He gives you goals. He gives you assists. But he also is a two-way player. He can attack and he can defend. This is what I'll say. If Xavier Gozo develops into the player that I think he can become, I think he'll be a better player than Tim Weah. He's less one-dimensional than Weah, and it feels like he has more goals in him than Tim Weah. But I guess time will tell. Regardless, I think Xavier Gozo is a 3.5 out of 5 star prospect. Again, that's like Weston McKennie-like level. That is a very, very good player. I don't think he has the potential to be a Christian Pulisic or what Mathis Albert might become or Balogun, but Xavier Gozo is a legit prospect. This kid is good. All right, now prospect number 8. I'm going to cheat here a little bit. I'm not going to rate their potential, or maybe I'll kind of say it, but I want to talk about these two briefly because I don't know if they're going to play for the US men's national team. And these are two guys that play in the Bundesliga, all right? Noah Kai Banks, the German-American that plays for Augsburg, the center back. He's 19 right now. And Montrell Kobreth that plays for Bayer Leverkusen. He's 18 and he plays more as like a wingback, fullback, winger. Scored a goal last season, got 700 minutes. He's a very good player as well. Now, both of these guys played for the US youth teams. Montrell Kobreth played once, and that was in 2022, I believe. Noah Kai Banks played multiple times. Banks even got called into a senior camp, all right? Out of these two, I think we're more likely to get Noah Kai Banks. I think he might play for the United States this cycle. And Montrell Kobreth, we have to keep an eye out for him. But these are two very high ceiling prospects. I would say they are 3.5 out of 5 star prospects. That's what I would say. Both of them have the potential to be very, 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 very good top 5 league players because they're already playing in top 5 leagues as U20 players, right? They're not even 20 yet, and they're already getting a lot of minutes in the Bundesliga. And mind you, every time they play, they look comfortable. Montrell Kobreth, every game I watched for Leverkusen when I was watching him or Malik Tillman last season, he looked fine. He was fine, and dude is quick. He is quick. Now, as for Noah Kai Banks, very comfortable on the ball, still made some mistakes defensively, still kind of tunes out when he shouldn't, falls asleep. He'll mature as time goes on, right? That was his first professional season, but in terms of his ability on the ball, he is a legit ball playing defender. He can pick a pass, he can dribble into space. Everything else, as he develops, he's going to get better. But again, those two are German Americans, and I don't know if they're going to play for the US men's national team. Like Noah Kai Banks, I think he will. Montrell Kobreth, I would say it's 50-50, right? Actually, not 50-50, probably 70-30 for Germany. All right, so those are the 8 prospects. Make sure to drop a like in this video right now. Do it if you haven't already. Comment down below any prospects that I forgot mentioning. And before we go, I want to give a few shout outs, right? To a few names that I think it's worth for yourself to look up and keep track of, like Ian James from Sporting KC. That's a talented center back right there. Mattia Kimboni, a center back that belongs to Bournemouth. He doesn't really play for Bournemouth in the Premier League, but keep an eye out for Mattia Kimboni. He has potential. Peyton Miller, the left back from the New England Revolution. Neil Pierre, the center back from the Philadelphia Union. Cole Campbell, right, that is going to be playing in the Bundesliga. I don't rate him highly, but I'm going to keep track of him, right? He's a 19 or 20-year-old American in the Bundesliga. You might as well keep an eye out for him. I think Justin Ellis is a good shout also from Orlando City. And Malik Jakupovic from the Philadelphia Union is also worth shouting out. Even though Malik Jakupovic might end up playing for Bosnia. I guess time will tell. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. It's a great way to support the channel for free. And that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.